Welcome to Take It from the Iron Woman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Iron Woman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Iron Woman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success.
This is the podcast Take It from the Iron Woman. And today we really have a special guest, Linda. Hello, Linda. How are you today?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good. So who is Linda? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you today and what brings you here?
Well, I am in the middle of yet another transition. I think I am the transition queen. Throughout my life, I've had so much change in my life, from moving from different parts of the United States to many different jobs, different industries, smack dab in the middle of another one, and sorting myself out with all the lessons that I have to learn and to grow.
Wow, that sounds exciting. Sometimes a transition at the crossroads can be interesting. So Tell us a little bit, like, what are pivotal moments in your life that brought you to where you are today, and what is motivating you to keep going and being upbeat as
Yeah, well, the alternative is not fun. So the choice is you can stay on your pity pot forever and be miserable, or you can make a difference. So I think learning to be okay with feeling bad when you feel bad, but just don't stay there that long, because you don't want to deny your feelings. So I've had many pivotal moments in my life. Well, when I was under 11, well, those times you're kind of developing, so they're not as devastating or huge as they are when you're just a little bit older, going through a divorce at a young age, and then like losing a job, and then moving cross country. Had to pick up the pieces there. Had a couple layoffs in my life. I've had personal things like a home fire. I've, broken my ankle, and we all experience death of loved ones in our life too. So there's been many pivotal moments that have really developed my ability to be resilient and to always find a way to stay healthy in mind, body, and spirit. And it's been a path walking through like the traditional paths that are before you as you're growing and learning what kinds of jobs you look for, what kind of education you think is what you need to move along your path. Sometimes what's really innately in you, there's not like a particular job or a particular curriculum that really supports exactly what you or who you are. So you have to like be in the process. You have to just keep moving forward and digging through the stuff to get there. So my life has been I've had many opportunities to have to do that, because nothing's ever been comfortable for too long for me. And on top of that is how sensitive person, how that's affected me, and how I've had to find ways to heal myself along the way. Because sometimes, you can get derailed a bit. But again, it's like, I'm a person that takes on responsibility for myself. So I figure out what I have to do for my own well-being to stay balanced.
And you talk about resilience, and before you said balance. So how can you go through those emotions and motions when you have tough times? Like, what has helped you to get positive and keep going?
I call it spiritual faith because it's a blend of what I grew up with, Protestant, Presbyterian growing up. Since I've been out on my own, it's been more about, my mind has been more open to spiritual side of those things. So it's been meditation, it's, laughter. I innately laugh. I've always laughed, whether it's just because it's a nervous laughter or it's a change of the mood laughter, or I'm just a natural laugher, if that's if that's a term or an expression. So, and then moving my body, definitely physical activity. And the more fun, the better. I have been more disciplined with other less fun. When I say fun, I mean things with like apparatus, with dance, with music, on roller skates or hula hooping, and then just spontaneous adventures. Also, like just getting in the car and like going somewhere to see something new.
It's a little bit more about the physical. What else are you doing? I think that's kind of like exciting to hear, like, and that keeps me energized.
Like the more artistic, challenging, creative movement, my own version of modern dance, from all the background I've had. I really like expressing my feelings through movement. Because sometimes the verbal has not always been easy for me, but the body can express.
Interesting. Yeah. This is really cool. Tell us more about laughter. So how can we ha ha ha, or how do you encourage that laughter and being more, I would say, create the happiness around you? That's how I would interpret them. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell us.
Start with your breath, because usually if something's stressing us out, we're very constricted, we're tight, and we're breathing very shallow in the first place. So like first thing would be to engage in just a deep breath, and then build upon that. And when you exhale the breath, then you like go ho ho, ho ho. Yeah. And then if you're standing up, then you just go, you bounce your body, ho, 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 ho. and then you just to loosen up if you're that tight. Okay. And then you'll do the clapping, ho, ho, ha, 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 ho, ho, ha, 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 and then you start, and then you also play with the smile.
Just like a clown, like have a huge smile. Yes. Yeah.
And so before you know it, you're laughing, and you fake it until you make it. What's really interesting is when you're really down, okay, or you're angry or something, or you need to really shift it.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard to laugh at that point, but what do? Again, it's the breath. Fill it into the diaphragm, put that smile on your face.
Yeah.
And then the ho ho ha ha ha.
Wow. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah. And isn't it that you use actually less muscles when you smile than when you frown? That's what I heard at one point, or read at one point.
And you can just tell. I mean, all right, here's another thing too that you might want to take note. Like when you lay down at night, you put your head on the pillow, and I guarantee you're probably pretty scrunched up still in the face, like your forehead, you're like, because you go to bed, most of us still with a lot of thoughts on our head.
Yeah.
So if you like even consciously think about it and relax your face, you're like, oh, and just let that go and let your body sink into the bed. Giggles.
That's really cool. And the giggles. Yeah. I think when we look at children, they say children ask 100 questions, but we as adults, we only ask 2. So, and I always say, how are you does not count, because that's not really a question. So we have to be more curious, and we have to laugh more, so we can really learn from children how they're curious, and they don't fit into a box yet. So, and then they come into society, and then all of a sudden we put them in a box. And then we need you, Linda, and tell us about your organization, your foundation, your academy, or whatever you want to name it.
Soulistic Adventures is what I've been working on since 2012. I developed it when I was at an unhappy job again, private equity firm. So at that time, I developed it to express my version of how I wanted to bring also the background that I had already in fitness and wellness, as a gymnast, as a personal trainer, as a group fitness person, and a holistic health coach. I wanted to bring that all in a way that was in my voice. And my voice was about fun, exploration, discovery, fun, and mindful fun. So it's not like just having a blast and not learning anything. I mean, there's a reason. I mean, it's all for a purpose, but it's a fun way to get there. to get your aha moments. And you say childlike. Yes, childlike. That is what laughter yoga is about, which is one of the modalities that I facilitate. And childlike, no matter what age you are, is so important. And again, it's that discovery, it's that learning something new, it's that inquisitive nature that you don't ever want to let go. You want to have that because that's where possibilities lie. That's where you want to keep going. Just like that person free floating in space, like catching every star along the way. Why?
Fantastic.
Trust me, when you look at these, the other scenario, the choice, if you're not living that way, oh my gosh,
you become the Debbie Downer, right? So you get into that hole, and so we need to open up. And I love your words like possibility and discovery and having mindful fun. So that's all what we should be creating. I think that should be one of our next talks. So don't give away everything. I would like to end today with this. Maybe you give us an inspiration. What is your favorite book that keeps you going, or that has been on your path to happiness?
Well, of course, Eat, Pray, Love. I say it was the best fun book because that was so me. That was just that just sucked me right in. And usually, like, I have 10 books going at the same time and I never finish them. and they're usually about education or learning something. So that was one that was not. It was just about living.
It's teaching about life. So it's, when you think about this education, it's about living life and enjoying life, and everybody takes away from that book. Eat, Pray, Love.
Adventures. Look, all the countries she went to, and then all the lessons she learned. That's like perfect world. If I didn't have to work, I would definitely be traveling and seeing every national park, every culture, everything of beauty there is, every animal there is on this planet.
I have to say thank you so much, Linda. This was so inspirational to hear and go with you on the laughter path. We'll hear more from Linda on our next episode. So thank you so much, Linda. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Wow, wasn't that the coolest episode so far? Until next time, take it from the Iron Woman. See you soon.